Alright, What Boys Live. I'm getting really sick of people chatting like that, but whatever. You live in a bad area, whatever. Where people don't respect each other, whatever. What boy, wait for people to come on. You're right around the world. What did I want to speak about? Oh, yeah. Embezzlement. People that are sending thousands of dollars to people involved in the Cobain case. Embezzlement. Ooh, there's something there. Does it link back to Jamal Millwood? I think so. I'm pretty sure. Spy Fox, you might not even be aware of it. Maybe a year later you'll understand who was actually supporting you. Until then, you just think you have a bunch of fans that want to support you. They're mixing in with that crowd and exploiting you. Shh, don't tell them. The person twisting the narrative wants control of the online YouTube channels that like to speak about the Cobain case. And they're doing so in a really sneaky, manipulative way. And people like money. People like girls. They like women. So it works. And then they get to alter the story and put out a timeline that they want, which won't help the case ultimately. Isn't that awesome, guys? Hey. Hey, Elena. Oh, man. And then you realize you're compromised or something a year later, and you're like, shit, I didn't realize I was being put through this. Well, Spy Fox, you have a year or something to figure that out. And I'm sorry, but don't say I didn't warn you so that it happens. And it's happening to you. It happened to me. And by the very same people, ironically. You're just going to have to wait a year and a half to realize what you've been actually going through. Hey, it's going all right. It's so ridiculous, though. There's people that want to write books that are going to exploit the Cobain case and anyone that speaks about it on YouTube. And they send people to be your friends, love and support you, send you money, give you encouragement and support. And you didn't even know you're being sent money by someone that's working with Disney. You want to keep your connections now, don't you, Michelle? Don't you, Spy Fox? Don't you, me, Zachary? Well, and you're not going to have to say this part. I don't want you saying that. That's not part of my book. But if you say this, that's okay. And you stick to it, that's all right. Here's all this money. Here's Sean Atwood, and here's the other YouTube connections. Go make yourself and me more famous now by altering the story. Remember, you don't say this. You stick with what I put in the book. Whether it's right or wrong, it just is what it is. I even wrote that in the book. It just is what it is. Stick to that. Yeah, they're literally grifters. And they're, even if they're not asking for money, they're having friends send them thousands of dollars. And those people aren't even actually their friends. They work with people that want their fucking popularity, their influence. And then they give them the information. It's really about giving them information and having them pass it along and having them trust them enough to give them information. If there's anything more, they need to be like, nope, that doesn't fit with the book. We have to stay with what Chris Todd wrote in the book. Then that will be excluded. Yeah, they are literally controlling the information. Even YouTubers that aren't aware that it's happening, it's happening. Like Spy Fox might not even know that some of the people sending him money behind that is Chris Todd. He might just think it's a nice girl being nice to him. But that's not the case. These people want your information, and they want to share information with you so that you will give them a lot more back. You'll be really trusting of them. And then they'll fuck you over. SpyFox has like 1.5 years, I think, maybe 2 years to figure that out. It took me that long. Yeah, but now it's like, I mean, the same girl that was dating me was just sending me money and sending him money and playing the both of us. And I can't say anything to him because she'll have me like, well, she threatened me. She threatened the cops, and I told her, like, you're cheating on your husband. Like, I want to show your husband what you're doing. And then she threatened the cops on me. So I can't say anything. I'm really stressed out about that. But I'm just like, you know what? You can use people. You can hurt them. You're free to do so. I'm not going to expose you. I'm not going to say your name. I'll never say your name on a live stream. You can keep hurting people. You're free to do it. To each their own. And I was stupid to date someone that did have a husband already. She's like, we haven't slept. Oh, I can't say that, all this. Yeah, no. These people come with Chris Todd, though. They're literally working with Chris Todd. Yeah, I've watched that video by somebody else. And then Chris Todd is getting them to send money. Gosh. And information sharing like crazy. That's really what they care about. And information twisting. And it's happening. And it sucks if it's happening still to other people and they don't see it. And it is. I say let them focus on the who killed Kurt stuff, and we will focus on Kurt Cobain and the eyewitnesses, Joe Burns, Harvey Ottinger, and everything I have with Danny and Kat. They can focus on making thousands of dollars just to travel to Aberdeen and make a video about where Kurt grew up and focus on who killed Kurt. Yeah, Todd, he works behind the scenes. He even said that in an interview, and that's what he's doing. He literally said it on an interview to hundreds of thousands of people, yet people don't even see it when he's talking to them and connecting with them. That's amazing. It's like if I went on video and said, I'm going to deceive you and scam you and manipulate you. And I'm sorry about it, but there's reasons. And you just forget about it. And then it's so stupid. He's literally said on interviews that he had to go behind people's backs. He had to pretend, to do certain things and get people to be in with certain crowds. He admitted that in the big interview that has hundreds of thousands of views about Kurt Cobain, the first one. So the fact that people don't remember that when they connect with him is not really smart. And that's what he's doing with other people, men and women, and money and information sharing and information twisting and controlling. This is what that is. But I think I'm so special. I have someone from Disney reaching out to me. I must be going somewhere in my life. Yeah, you're going down a setup. Literally. And it's about the most important thing, your information on a murder case that they want to twist, that they want to alter. Once you get all their famous connections like Sean Atwood and everything, you're going to feel happy. You're going to live a good life. Do you really want to give that up then suddenly for the truth? The truth that you realize is being altered and twisted by the very people that were setting you up and supporting you along the way to get to where you are now? Do you really want to go against them and lose all that for yourself? For the truth? The truth about a murder? You really want to lose your good lifestyle now? That's literally what's fucking happening. And it's happening over and over and over again. To Who Killed Kurt, to Spy Fox, and to whoever else. Whoever else is really popular with the Cobain case. These girls and guys that are going after Spy Fox and that Chris has sent after them in a good, loving way are literally doing that to every other YouTuber that talks about the Cobain case. They want your popularity and they want your information. That's why it seems off from the start. That's what they want. And Chris has a different reason as to why he wants it. He could be sending good-hearted people to get your information, but they might not know what he wants to do with it, which is alter it, just like he did in Joe's book. Now, if you're connected with him and you have those really good connections, you stick to what's in Chris's book about Joe's testimony, even if it's wrong. Even if it's wrong. If you go against it, you're going to lose your connections. You're going to lose that money. You're going to lose everything that you are now. You stick to what Chris Todd written in that book about Joe, regardless of if it's the truth or not. Sometimes you need a story. That's exactly what Chris Todd said to me on video chat. It's horrible. It shouldn't be happening. He's exploiting this murder case. And they can get away with it. Oh, well, the cops think it's suicide, so we can do pretty much anything like this. It's just ridiculous. You people are jerks. I went through the same thing with the Isaac Cappy situation. And people are trying to control the narrative that ultimately they were connected to the people involved in the murder. So in this case, it would be Courtney Love, if that's the same thing going on. That's me drinking juice. I know, and he's playing with new info all the time. You know, I have the whole autopsy and everything. I've seen all the photos, everything. Like, no, you haven't. And the rest of all those papers were the rest of everything in notebook 1 and notebook number 2 that was just printed off. They're playing. I have this information. Hey, I will say this. I do have information with Danny and Kat and I, but that's personal. And he's not the killer. He's not one of the killers. No one needs to know that. And it's only going to make Chris Todd look worse because he was complaining about him all the time. And I will share it on my own channel. Once here and there, I'll share things. But he wants to twist Danny as being one of the killers, and Danny isn't. He also wants to do that. He's also covering up the timeline of Thursday, April 7th. Possibly even the April 3rd, if Courtney and Tom were there that day and the murder happened then, going into Monday. Because it looks weird that Courtney put an alibi out for herself on Monday morning and pretended to be walking the streets of LA looking for Kurt when she knew that Kurt was at home in Seattle because Callie had called Courtney and told her. So it seems like a lot more is being covered up that we haven't really made sense of yet. And it sucks that we face this opposition. But we have the eyewitness on our side. We have 2 of them, even Harvey Ottinger for the limo ride and the shells and everything. And Kurt was shocked that they were in his bag. He was surprised. Almost stopped him from being able to get on a plane and go to LA, which I pretty much think that's what they wanted to happen. The people left back at the house. Danny, no. Unless he brought her in on the 3rd or the 7th. And if that's the case, and if Chris is connected with Courtney, Well, we know the person that connected Chris to this case is connected to Courtney. Then, then it's just all around bad. You gotta really do this on your own. You can't work with other people that want to make a book or a movie. You really just got to put out powerful videos and try to get that information out in an article, because then all these other articles will pick up on the one article that you get out there. And so will all these other YouTube channels. They'll suddenly start making videos on your article because they cruise articles looking for new breaking stories to share on their channel. That'll get hundreds of thousands of views really quick. So that's what you got to do, and do it yourself. DIY, do it yourself, the punk rock way. Don't do it the Disney way. The Chris Todd way is the Disney way. The sellout way. You might not even realize you're being sold out, or you're selling yourself out, until maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later. But by 5 years, they will have spent over probably 70 grand on you. Then you'll really realize that you're compromised. It's called embezzlement. Pretty sure I'm saying it correctly, pronouncing it. The Who Killed Kurt official channel. I was making their videos in the beginning. Those videos, even with AI that you see, that was me. I did the... But then I seen it was all about drama, and I left the Facebook Messenger chat of the group admin chat. And I did my own thing with Danny. I didn't want to do it the way that they wanted to do it, making money and being all about drama. I'm like, let's just fucking do something for Kurt. Daddy wanted to go on board with that. Well, he wanted to do it his way. And then Jason and Matthew were telling me, just do whatever he wants. Just keep him talking, keep him talking. And I've said that from the beginning. I really do. Thank you. I attempted my own life over this in 2017 after speaking with Hank Harrison. And that was scary, because the fact that I survived it is what pushes my will in this. And they can't defeat that. Not even a little bit of money or any kind of threat. That was scarier than any threat they could give to me. Even if they were to threaten me about dying. I have a mission with this, and I'm not afraid. Watching that Courtney Love interview last night on Howard Stern, I got the feeling of them. Kind of like a Riot Girl vibe, which I've been saying for a while too. And then I realized Michelle Wilkins isn't even her real name. We don't even know her actual real name. Apparently her first name is Michelle, but we don't know that. She also goes by Nicole. Chris Todd, that's not even his real name. Chris Todd's real name is Todd Guzzi, Guzze. It's a God complex over the case. It's not I attempted my life. I have the will to fucking see this through. With the pink hair. Michelle Wilkins, pink hair. That's not even her real name. Her real name is not Michelle Wilkins. We don't know what her real name is. Matthew, he's been even trying to figure it out. Matthew Ricker. Yep. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that when I left, which was over a year ago. The one with the glasses, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm the most brave in this situation, even before 2017, out of those people. They're the borderline Karens. But this is the thing. Chris Todd is trying to manage YouTube channels without even people realizing it that are about the Cobain case, because he has a lot of money to make off of this. And there might be more nefarious reasons. And yeah, they're getting really good at putting the focus off of Kurt Cobain and the eyewitness and putting it basically, well, keeping it on the eyewitness, but twisting that, altering it so you don't get the absolute certain truth of what happened. They're doing a great job at putting it on who killed Kurt and focusing on all that instead. I thought I had someone that wanted to work with me on the eyewitness stuff that I have, but they literally just wanted my information. They didn't want to actually work with me on it, like with it, like putting anything together towards it, with it. They only sent it all to Chris Todd and other YouTubers involved in the case. They send information, you send information back. That's what they want. There's a reason for it. It's not just free sharing and I have a new friend. Yeah, me and you free share. Yeah. People that come from Chris Todd, thank you. People that come from Chris Todd, though, they don't share for free. And if it seems like they are, they're setting you up. And then they're going to give you connections. They're going to give you more money. And before you know it, you have to agree with this and you can't agree with this anymore. And you can't go down there and look towards Monday, April 4th at 2:32 a.m. You can't look at that anymore. You can't look at the true events of Thursday, April 7th either, possibly even Sunday going into Monday. There's possibly more being covered up there still. Right, I want to see that video you did. I didn't look at that. I'm going to play it, actually. Just a sec. I'm like, what? You found something. Because they always say about a second plane ticket, but I've never seen it. Unless I'm not remembering it now. I should. Just a sec. Let's see. Hey, yeah. We are here. Just a second.
This boarding pass might look
Hello, Letherbogoziski.
ordinary at first, but it actually contains several small clues that hint at when it was printed. Start by looking at the text. The flight number, the cities, and the seat assignment are all printed in a dot matrix style. Each letter and number is made up of tiny dots. This style was typical for impact printers connected to airline reservation systems in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Next, pay attention to the layout. Blue boxes separate fields like from, to, flight, date, and seat. United Airlines used this pre-printed template during the early 1990s. The printer would fill in the black text while the colored boxes remained part of the form. Another small clue is the field labeled smoke. In the early 1990s, airlines were gradually phasing out smoking sections, but boarding passes still included this designation to show whether the seat was smoking or non-smoking. Taken together, these details, the dot matrix printing, the blue template layout, and the smoke field, point to the early to mid-1990s. And finally, the stock number printed at the bottom, starting with 94, confirms the boarding pass forms were produced in 1994.
Kurt was dead by the time this rescheduled log of the tour was supposed to happen. Kurt was dead. So I'll have to go over that again. Good news with Bonnie D. That's not Bonnie Dillard. He was going to Chicago. Where did you find that ticket? I'm going to look that up on my phone. Lebrowski, hey. What about was it Rem? What's his name? Okay, just a sec. April 20th. Michael Stipe. Yeah, I seen it. I see it right here. Just a sec. Huh. After Cobain's death, Courtney Love sold the vehicle to Kim. That was actually given to Mark Lanigan. Or maybe it was the other one. I'm trying to see. It says that it's an original United Airlines boarding pass belonging to famed musician Kurt Cobain for a flight from Seattle, Washington to O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Illinois on April 20th. The year of the flight is unknown. Wow. Why would it be unknown? And it says 94 on it. Those last two digits, you would think that's something from it. Yeah, let's rewatch that. Just a sec. And then slow it down too.
At first, but it actually contains several small clues that hint at when it was printed. Start by looking at the text. The flight number, the cities, and the seat assignment are all printed in a dot matrix style. Each letter and number is made up of tiny dots. This style was typical for impact printers connected to airline reservation systems in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
So this is a ticket from Kurtz to Chicago on April 20th and possibly 94. The date of this actual thing is unknown online. Like there's no date on it for some reason.
Next, pay attention to the layout. Blue boxes separate fields like from, to, flight, date, and seat. United Airlines used this pre printed template during the early 1990s. The printer would fill in the black text while the colored boxes remained part of the form. Another small clue is the field labeled smoke. In the early 1990s, airlines were gradually phasing out smoking sections, but boarding passes still included this designation to show whether the seat was smoking or non smoking. Taken together, these details, the dot matrix printing, the blue template layout, and the smoke field, point to the early to mid 1990s. And finally, the stock number printed at the bottom, starting with 94, confirms the boarding pass forms were produced in 1994.
So this saying this on 4/20/94, that was supposed to look like it was for his tour or something. So that was supposed to be for 94. So you got a post from 1994 talking about it. These are all those posts. Can you hear me? That's what you're saying, right? So what do you mean about all this? These are from 1994, right? Posted then. Or was that the notes of when he was supposed to be? So they're saying right here. So he was supposed to go somewhere with that. Kurt Cobain, Chicago. Even his final performance was in Chicago. Maybe he liked it when he was there. Kristen Paff, Chicago. Hmm. Right. And he had a different ticket, like he was just going to leave and go somewhere else, that looks like. Kind of like mind freaking them. Oh, I'm going to do this, but then he bought another ticket to go somewhere else, actually. Hey, that just goes with what Courtney said to Tom Grant. He was pulling a mind freak right then. He was trying to manipulate them. Oh yeah, he's going with the tour. He's going, and then he has a ticket to somewhere else, and they didn't even know, but they found out. Where would he be going in Chicago? Let me look on this AI thing. It's barely right. It'll give you a different answer than Google. Was Kurt Cobain leaving to Chicago sometime in 1994? It probably obviously wouldn't know. Oh, wow. Yes, there are reports that Kurt Cobain planned or talked about going to Chicago in 1994, though the details are a bit unclear and debated. Several accounts from people around him suggested that Cobain had talked about possibly going to Chicago to work on music or meet musicians. Chicago had a big alternative scene then, including bands on Touch and Go Records and Drag City, which Cobain admired. Some friends believed he wanted to get away from Seattle and Los Angeles for a while. Yeah, I don't see him going back to Los Angeles or Seattle or staying there in Seattle, obviously. But there's no confirmed plane ticket or travel records showing that he had actually made concrete arrangements to leave for Chicago before his death. So, yes, there are claims that Kurt talked about going to Chicago in 1994, but there is no solid evidence that a specific trip was booked or scheduled. Wow. I'll send that to you, Kurt Cobain Mystique. Were they in Chicago at that time too? I sent that to you. It doesn't have a date, even literally on a website where it's being sold. It literally says, and you can find this on Google too. It says, 1 second. Oh my gosh. Let me send that to him. Boom. It says here's an original United Airlines boarding pass belonging to famed musician Kurt Cobain for a flight from Seattle, Washington to O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Illinois on April 20th. The year of the flight is unknown. Photo provided by Julian's Auctions. Maybe Courtney just really wanted to sell stuff, but that's, you can see the last four digits say 1994, say 94 on it. I mean, was it really the one that was in his pocket? That would make sense because we never actually seen that in Notebook 1 or 2 or crime scene photos. Kurt Cobain ticket found in pocket. Oh wait, let me look on this. Was the ticket in Kurt Cobain's pocket, was one of them to go from Seattle to Chicago? Apparently there's no proof, but they said there was 2 plane tickets. It's in the autopsy. Okay. Let me look really quick. What page would that? Let me see. I can't see anything in the autopsy about it. Oh, wait. Right here, yes. Just a sec. Present in the left jeans front pocket are papers. Present in the left jeans front pocket are an address book and a lighter, some bills and coins. Right pocket, Delta Airlines receipt, flight tickets from Los Angeles to Seattle. Present in the left jean pocket is an airline ticket from Seattle to Los Angeles, dated the 30th of March. So is that the second one they had? And it was just earlier? Yeah, because I just read that. It doesn't say it was to Chicago. It says that was the ticket that he had bought to get to LA to the rehab. But then there was another ticket from him from the LA going to Seattle. All right. Because I could explain the 2 tickets on him, and maybe Courtney just freaked out saying there's 2 tickets. He bought 2 tickets. Well, maybe he did. Yeah, he bought one to go to rehab, and then he bought one to leave. And maybe that looked weird for her at the moment because she didn't expect him to leave the very next day and a half, right? So maybe it looked like he bought 2 tickets. Maybe there's not even anything to that like that. What is a layover? It could have been a layover. So he bought 2. He bought his one from Seattle to LA, and then he bought 2 more right after. I know that too, but then it's hard to there's no photos of any of them. Did Kurt Cobain buy a ticket from Seattle to Los Angeles, and then when he left LA, did he buy 2 more tickets when he was returning back to Seattle? There are no confirmed airline tickets showing additional flights. What about the plane? Not that. The credit card report. Right. Kurt Cobain credit card report. That could be Courtney and others coming after Kurt, buying other tickets, and then she could easily twist it saying he bought some other tickets. We don't know where he is, Tom, but it's Tom and Courtney in on it. Maybe it was their tickets. What if that's another bit of Courtney's manipulation, saying Kurt bought 2 more tickets? Oh no, why would she say that he bought more tickets and wants to go somewhere? Unless it's to cover her up being there on the 3rd going into the 4th with Tom. They'd want to say he was the one that got these tickets right after he left. And Courtney would be okay with spending it because she's still able to spend money on the card. She was buying even a laptop, remember? For the house in Seattle while she was in LA. Probably wanted to keep up on all the news after what she would do. Have done at least. But I think only one approved. Remember Duff McKagan being on the same flight? And he's the one that housed Mark Lanigan in 97. Right. Right, because why hasn't Tom provided the evidence of his ticket of a flight on his Cobain manual study in that PDF or on his website? That could easily be, if they were they approved or not. I can't really read that right now, but that could be Courtney covering for the 3rd and 4th, because it looks like there's a lot more being covered up there. Possibly. It does look like it. It points to that. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm getting a drink of pop. That might be bullshit. Do you know? Try to find out though if the other 2 tickets were approved or not, or other. Yeah, it's just the other 2. Oh, wait a sec. Right. No, Courtney would freak out. He had to at least get away from Courtney first if they were going to date. And I think it's odd that he wanted Duff McKagan wanted Kurt to go to their place when he got off the plane. That wouldn't have been a good idea either. So in Bloomer, were you able to find out if the other 2 plane tickets were accepted? I'll leave it on that so you guys can see it. I seen they would have get along well, but he needed to get away from Courtney to date anybody or to flirt with anybody. Yeah, getting away from Courtney first. So he can do all that. He can be happy, doesn't have to put up with her games or manipulation from other people around him. He was gonna like hang out probably with people that didn't really respect Courtney either. So I don't know if he's still there, but in Bloomer, were the other two tickets accepted? I'll look myself, but I'll do it. I'll ask the Chat GPT thing. Chat GPT. How many airplane tickets were bought and how many were approved? So looking closely at the record you shared, the rows in the credit card statement say Delta Air airline purchases appear 3 times on April 2nd, 94. These are the only lines that clearly show airline ticket transactions. What that means. So airline tickets attempted, 3 approved, 1 not approved, 2 of them. So what he did is he bought 1, it was approved, then he tried to buy the others, or someone else tried. It was probably him, but the others wouldn't approve. So there was only 1 ticket with him, but he tried to buy 2 other tickets that weren't approved. So maybe that's not from 1994. Well, I tried to have a girl that was sent to me by Crowd help me, but she only sent the information to him and told me she was transcribing them. And so I've had no one actually to be able to help me do the work, and I've been too sensitive to look over that stuff myself after him dying, literally killing himself by stopping his heart and telling people he was going to die and telling me he wanted to die. So I waited over a year for her to get all that done, and she's sending it to Chris Todd and probably other YouTubers, not even doing the work with me. So I don't know when anything with the eyewitnesses will happen or anyone involved in the case that is really known for being involved in it. I don't know when anything like that will happen. Right now, the attention is on who killed Kurt and all of them feeling good about that. The eyewitness stuff and everything should happen quicker, but I guess we saved the good stuff for last. Right, because of all the other tickets that weren't going to Chicago on that date. So maybe it did approve or maybe it didn't approve, but they still had a copy of it. Oh, wow. How come the credit card statement says that the other two weren't approved? How would they get a photo of this one? Or is that some, like, why would it say not approved for the other two tickets? Unless he had money on him, that's why he had change and everything. And other dollar bills. He probably had enough to, and buy some more heroin too when he got back. Right, Julian's Auctions. I bought some things from them. He could have just had change on him then to buy another ticket. But wouldn't that be in the log too? Right. And do we have the other statements of the other cards, or are they hiding that information? Or just not letting us see it? Hiding it. Oh, wow. That's why things don't make sense then. They're hiding so much information. Just like with people that don't know what we know, we realize now there's more information that we still don't know that's being hidden. That makes it confusing. Right, he wasn't the PI. Not then. Years later. What is I should know. I know that saying, but what is modus operandi? I mean, it was again. Sorry, I keep stuttering. I don't know why. Right, and she would have canceled all the other cards too. And even with Callie's, because he was there, she thought he was protecting him. So he would give Kurt money if she didn't cancel his cards too. Thank you. Thank you. Right? And what about that report of Barf saying Callie and Kurt in greenhouse? And then he was told to get off the house. But then Tom wants to twist that and say, oh, that was Caitlin Moore's and all that he was called off of. But if he was at Caitlin Moore's only surveilling, then why are there the notes from Ernie Barf saying that Kurt's in the greenhouse with Callie, talking about prenuptial agreement? And Mark Lanigan really, if we're to believe Mark Lanigan called Tom Grant out as being one of the killers with him the very next day after Kurt called him after leaving rehab. So that would be Sunday. He's saying Barth is lying? What the fuck? Fourth, in the greenhouse. That makes total sense now, knowing that it was Monday, April 4th. Let me look at that document again. Huh. That's in notebook number 1. Just a sec. Right here. Courtney told Dylan to check above garage. April. I mean, yeah, so that's 4th, 7th, so that's Thursday, okay. But then there's different notes here. Tom arrives on the 6th. Which would have been Wednesday, going into Thursday. But then he writes small storage room, lumber stored. Dylan plus Callie doing drugs with Kurt, question mark. Kurt attention on prenup. How would he know at that time about a small storage room with lumber and Kurt doing drugs up there if he's at Caitlin Moore's only surveilling hers in a vehicle? So these notes would have been probably from Sunday going into Monday, and then they would have called him off the house and moved in right then. Yeah. Oh, so the notes from Ernie Barth are just, am I getting that right? Are just Kirkland talking to Grant? That doesn't. Now I'm confused. So what are you saying? Was Ernie Barth at the house on Sunday going into Monday? Was he called off then? And what really points to that? Right? The prenup stayed in Rosemary's desk office. She didn't even do anything with it. He wanted a different person. So if I read all 930 pages again, and then the one from Barth, I'll match it to the notes handwritten on that day at the beginning of the book. So it goes more into Monday. It matches with Monday. Early morning hours. Sunday night in the AM does mean Sunday night going into the AM, which would mean early morning Monday. But Chris Dodd doesn't want you to say that because he wrote a book and he said it was Sunday, so don't embarrass him. Mm-hmm. Put that into ChatGPT and ask the ticket. Are those bottom letters starting with 94 supposed to be referring to the year? Are the first bottom letters supposed to refer to the year? Yes. Holy fuck. Okay, but it says this. It does not represent the year. That type of number is usually an eternal ticket or boarding pass control number used by the airline or printer. So what year was this? Oh, wow, but it says this. This boarding pass for Kurt Cobain is generally understood to be from 1994. After Kurt's death in April 94, investigators found unused travel items among his belongings, including airline materials connected to United Airlines. The boarding pass surfaced later as part of memorabilia and evidence tied to that 1994 period. So it's literally telling me that it's, yeah, April 20th, 94. That would have been 2 weeks after Kurt Cobain's death on April 5th, 1994. It was actually April 4th. People think it was purchased earlier but never used, obviously. Yeah, that means so he was going to Chicago, and we found that out. He was going to work with other musicians in the drag city scene. What was he going to do? Yeah, he had. So Chicago had a big alternative scene, like Touch and Go Records and Drag City, which he admired. And he had talked about possibly going to Chicago to work on music to meet musicians. I want to look up. Let's see. Let's look up Chicago. Right? Remember Chicago Jaded Green Day in 1994? That was like the best concert. '94 music scene. Let's see. I'll look at the Melvins. Melvins, Chicago, 1994. So he would have wanted to be right here. This was April 25th, 1994. Just a sec, in Chicago. Ah. Yeah, didn't you meet them once around the table? So this is just a sec. He would have wanted to be right here then. This is Chicago, the Melvins, April 25th, 94. I bet he would be there with him in spirit for sure. Chicago would have been a great time for Kurt Cobain back then. That was like when Green Day was doing Dookie, and I think he would have liked that. I remember he told him to just give her all the money and go away. Steve Beanie, 1994. You know what we should do? Oh, just a sec. It's ridiculous. Well, I don't know. There's videos of people driving around Seattle in '93 and all that, and all the other years, and they just film out their windows. We can watch them on YouTube now. Let me see. 194. One second, I'm just trying to find it. Oh, here we go. So I have a video from what? There's one in Seattle, March 24th, 1994. Someone going around filming downtown. Just a second. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that won't work. It wants to be like that. What the fuck? Fuck it. It doesn't look like it rained. Maybe it did the day before, night before, and got dry during the day. It kind of looks like it was getting dry. It was, well, Kurt would have seen that in March of '94. Yeah, it looked kind of wet, the ground. Like moist was in the air in that photo. So Kurt would have seen, I just want to go over. Kurt would have literally seen this exact area. This is Seattle. Right there. It was. I think like the three pillars. SeaTac Airport. This is SeaTac Airport, March 24th, 94. This is exactly what Kurt would have seen. Oh, it looks like it does now. That one. That one looks bringing old. I'd be getting fish and chips. Mhm. And everyone would like, they weren't looking down at a screen in their hand. Your phone was to be hanged up on your wall in your home. Your attention was focused outwardly. Samuel L. Jackson Street. I don't know. That'd be funny. Danny just comes on the screen. Hi, I'm a blogger. A blogger. Chinatown. Mark would hang out here for Chinatown. I see Dylan doing heroin right there under the bridge. He's doing it on a hooker's butt. He just didn't do anything with it. What is that? What is that above the sky? Is that a UFO? To Capitol Hill. This is Capitol Hill now. This would be the area. Fuck, man. If I was right here in this building at the time, I'm like, let's get the heck out of here and go to Kurt's house. That looks like Mark Lanigan's apartment. I think it is. This is Capitol Hill. That looked like Mark Lanigan's apartment. Just a sec. Right there. Doesn't that look like the same steps in Bloomer? Doesn't that look like Mark Lanigan's apartment? This is March 24th, 94. We're in the Capitol Hill part of Seattle right now. It was 1414. And it actually says that, I think. Just a sec. It does too. It says 1414. Just a second. Watch. You probably see him through a window somewhere. See, 1414. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Wow, he was there. The fucking killer is in there right then, probably, or out on the prowl. Wow, I've saved that video to the live stream playlist on this channel. Maybe there's more of it, but let's go over that part again. Holy crap. I can't believe we actually found this. Do you think it would have been an upstairs window somewhere around here? Which apartment was his? Do we know? Yeah, Rosemary and Danny Goldberg ignored it. Where is his window? Do you know which window is his? We only have like 10 seconds of this. Oh, I seen someone move in an above window. Watch, you'll see it really quick. Someone moves like right here, right in this window or this window. Right there. It was the top right where somebody was moving around. Right up here. Right here. Yeah. Want me to play it again? That is so crazy. We actually probably got them on film. What the fuck? Isn't that amazing how we're putting this all together? Like, shit just comes like that? Holy fuck. Let's play it on slow motion. Wow, so his it's like that for that reason? Because it looks kind of like slanted upwards like this. I can't believe we have come across that. Right here, let's put one camera right here. Really briefly. You see someone's reflection right there? It was obviously busy all nights of the hours. That's how he explains. We possibly caught a reflection of somebody in his place like that when they're like plotting what they're gonna do to Kurt. Because damn right they would have known before then that something was going on. Oh wait, there's a person right there. Fucking pause. Right there, I want to see. This is still Mark's area. Yeah, he's not the mastermind. He's just hired, just like even Dylan went along with it. What was this part of Seattle called again? Okay, yeah, just a sec. I'm gonna pause it right on his window though. All right, just a sec. I'll find it in his book right now. What are the keywords I would say to find it? Capitol Hill. Okay, I'll look up curtains. Yeah. No matches found. It's probably a lot. Oh, there's 82 mentions of crack. Just a sec. think I might have found it. Just a sec. I really can't find it. Just a sec. Call up to the window. Didn't he say pebble in it? Or a stone? Oh, I found it. I found it. 1 second. Cotton Fever, chapter 41. Just a sec.
Chapter 40. Chapter 42. Chapter 41. Cotton Fever. Not wanting to be alone following the death of his girlfriend, Demery, Lane Staley moved into my place while I was acting the rat on the wheel through a hell tour of Europe. He and my alleged statutory rapist, cross-dressing protege, St. Louis Simon, lived in my apartment smoking and selling crack and arguing with one another over junkie etiquette while I was gone. The first thing Lane said when I walked through the door was, "Whoa, man, what the hell happened to you?" "Let's just say it was a rough fucking ride," I said, and left it at that.
He speaks about it in this chapter really soon. I'll just pause it right after.
Was relieved to have reliable sources of heroin at my disposal once more, and the three of us stayed awake for days on end, alternately hitting the pipe, with Simon obsessively scanning the floor looking for what we might have dropped. Eventually he, like so many other addicts and transients who had lived with and worked for me in the past, went for a walk one day and simply never came back. 3 weeks after my return from Europe, I got buzzed from the front door late one night, and when I went downstairs and looked out, there was my traveling bag sitting on the front steps to my building, courtesy of British Airways. Lane spent a few more months in squalor with me in my small one-bedroom apartment. He never stopped grieving Demery's death. After a while, his father, Phil, also an addict, took up Simon's dubious duties as our runner, which made for a weird dynamic. Lane would often nod standing up, bent over at what appeared to be a painful angle with his head almost to the floor. Nonetheless, he became angry whenever Phil quietly caught a nod sitting on the couch. He would videotape his father, then force him to look at it, cruelly ridiculing his own dad for doing the same thing we all did every day. He obviously carried some resentment of Phil, a man I'd found to be just as sweet, funny, and smart as his son, as well as his physical mirror image. Finally, after almost 4 months, Lane began to crave isolation and moved back into the impenetrable penthouse condo in the University District he had bought, and I was again by myself. As I'd come home with next to no money from my painful, fruitless tour, my phone and electricity were soon shut off. Before long, I was cooking up my daily batches of crack to sell on a small old Coleman propane camping stove and shooting dope by candlelight at night. I still had a pager. One day, I received a page from Lane. I walked across 9th Avenue to Harborview Hospital to the grimy, germ-covered payphone at the bus stop I always used but hated to touch. I wiped off the receiver with the sleeve of my shirt and called him collect. Hey man, I heard from somebody that the cops are looking for you. Something about stolen property. Keep your head down. I asked him where he'd heard it, and his answer was a bit vague, but the story nonetheless gave me pause. After Lane's warning, I stayed in my bathroom all day and night waiting for customers. I'd turned the buzzer off long before because not only did those street people I'd foolishly given my apartment number to harass me around the clock, I had run into Christian so often while meeting some shabby crackhead at the front door that it was way too obvious. Now I told them not to shout up at me anymore, but to throw a small piece of gravel up to get my attention. Then I would quietly creep down the back stairs and do the deal at the door into the alley behind the building. I kept all the drugs on me so I could flush them down the toilet if indeed the cops did burst through the door someday. After a week or so had passed, I started feeling like the coast was...
I don't think he lifted it up a certain way. He just told them to throw a stone at it. Okay, let's go back to it. Just a sec.
Cops are looking for you. Something about stolen property. Keep your head down. I asked him where he'd heard it, and his answer was a bit vague, but the story nonetheless gave me pause. After Lane's warning, I stayed in my bathroom all day and night waiting for customers. I'd turned the buzzer off long before because not only did those street people I'd foolishly given my apartment number to harass me around the clock, I had run into Christian so often while meeting some shabby crackhead at the front door that it was way too obvious. Now I told them not to shout up at me anymore, but to throw a small piece of gravel up to get my attention. Then I would quietly creep down the back stairs and do the deal at the door into the alley behind the building. I kept all the drugs on me so I could flush them down the toilet if indeed the cops did burst through the door someday. After a week or so had passed, I started feeling like the coast was clear. I got some dough together to pay the power bill, eased up, and allowed my...
So whoever was here, so he would go behind the back. So they're standing here throwing the stone somewhere, and then he would go out the back into the alleyway of this building. Hmm. You just entered that door at the time. So he would have entered that door right after killing Kurt. And he would have seen that brown door right in front of him after. He would have probably turned to the left or right, or maybe an elevator right here or something. So he would have came back and opened that door, walked through it, probably looked out behind him at the clear door. And he would have been sketched out walking back here. That light would have been glowing down on him. You can already feel the air and the temperature and everything here too. It's a seedy lifestyle. It's like bad things are illegal things are happening all the time. Mm-hmm. What the heck happened? I don't know what happened. You all still here? I have no clue what happened. No, Mark went back there after having done the deed. Probably Dylan too. But eventually Mark Lanigan, because that was where Mark lived. We, by chance, were watching this video, Seattle, March 24th, 94, just a random video. And we came across video footage of his apartment at that time. So he would have been in there during this time, unless he was outside selling drugs. Mark Lanigan, not Kurt Cobain. Mark Lanigan is the accused killer of Kurt Cobain's. Because Josie in the basement. Yeah, we randomly came across someone filming it in 1994 with a video camera in March of 94. So like a week, not even before it. Yeah, and he right here, this house is only 15 minutes away from Kurt's house. No. Kurt was not in this apartment. They didn't hurt him here. No. Fuck. This is Mark Lanigan's apartment. Mark Lanigan lived here, not Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain didn't come here. Kurt Cobain wasn't killed here. Kurt Cobain wasn't brought here. Kurt Cobain wasn't given an envelope of money here. Kurt Cobain wasn't given Jell-O here. Kurt Cobain wasn't given a high five here. Maybe, I don't know, but not in 1994. Mark Lanigan. It is so frustrating. Okay. Mark Lanigan. Joe Burns seen him hit Kurt in the head with something in the basement. There's no head trauma. His whole, parts of his forehead were caved in. So if they want to laugh at there being no head trauma, they're literally laughing at the biggest thing you could point out at that crime scene. This is where Mark lived before the murder, and he went back to after the murder. And he just kept selling dope, probably from one of these windows where someone would throw a stone to get dope from him. This place was only 15 minutes away from 171 Lake Washington Boulevard East. Kurt was killed in the basement of his home at 171, 15 minutes away from this building. And he was brought up to the greenhouse, and that's where he was shot through the hard palate of his mouth while he was unconscious but still alive, as the autopsy states about the being unconscious but still alive part. So, let's see. Joe Burns, Kurt Cobain. I really only like,
And I went over to the house to see Callie a little.
Okay, let's play.
Your butt is a fun.
Oh my God. Let's play Eric Blanc's new movie, The Assassination of Kurt Cobain. A 21-minute long movie with an AI-generated voice that doesn't sound good. Are you guys ready for the Hollywood film you've all been waiting for?
I can't believe it has taken 30 years to get to this point. I don't know if I ever thought this day or moment would ever come, especially.
What the hell, Eric? This is just chapter 6 of Joe's book, I think. I already know it from the start. All right, here's the movie everyone's been waiting for from Eric Blanc. The Assassination of Kurt Cobain. Chapter 6 of Joe's book. Not even something that he said to Eric Blanc. Here we go.
Not voluntarily. I can say that I feel better at this point than I did when I started the book. You have noticed that I use the word confession throughout, and sometimes it is in quotes, and sometimes it is not. I don't know if it is subliminal.
That's literally Eric Blanc's new video. That's his movie, The Assassination of Kurt Cobain, and everyone's been waiting for it. But this is literally just chapter 6 of the book. Well, at least we got some good fake AI movie posters. Now let's listen to the fake AI voice from Eric Blanc's channel about his movie that we've been waiting for probably like, some people have been waiting for it for like 8 years, I think, or at least 5 years or something. So here we go with this Hollywood blockbuster AI-generated movie with not even a good AI voice, Eric. What the fuck? You focus too much on making your romantic porn films.
Or symbolic, I'm not really sure. I do know that I consider this my confession, because I have never put words to paper regarding this, and I have never said these things to anyone, ever. You will see some similar angles and elements across some of my interviews.
Well, this is what my ex-girlfriend was waiting for. The Assassination of Kurt Cobain by Eric Blanc, Chapter 6 of To Kurt, I'm Sorry by Chris Todd and Joe Burns. That's not your own stuff, Eric Blanc. Again, oh my gosh. I don't know what to do anymore. This is stupid. It gets really stupid. I've been telling people that, and fuck, I was just actually excited to see something on his channel that I thought was different. Let's see, hopefully it's different halfway through it or something.
Now that I can piece these things together more.
No, it's not. Well, see, and he just has all these fake AI movie posters in his new video about this. This is Chapter 6 of To Kurt, I'm Sorry by Chris Todd and Joe Burns. This is not a new movie that Eric was working on for 4 or 5 years. And people fall for too much crap. I want the glory. Why do you speak like that, Eric Blanc? You're literally just a filmmaker trying to get attention, even with information that you say you have, but you don't have. If anything, it'll make you have fans and maybe a girlfriend or something. But you're not doing any new film. It's been 5 fucking longer than that, 5 years longer. And all we get is this AI-generated crap. False promises look great. Oh, they feel great. And they look great and they feel great, yeah. But we want something fucking real. I have the fucking stuff with the eyewitness. So does fucking Chris Todd, but he doesn't have everything that me and Danny, and neither does Matthew and Jason. And they don't need the stuff with me, Kat, and Danny. Unless they want to look more horrible than they already do. I'll be sure to cut those fucking parts out of those. I'm glad I didn't give it to the setup fucking girlfriend they sent my way. She sent me an SD card. She wanted me to put all the Danny stuff on it and send it all back to her. She would get it sent express back to her. And I didn't do it. I sent her some of the videos, not all of the videos, and not basically any of the audio clips that I have of me and Kat and Danny. And you know what? It's nice to hold that shit over them because they didn't manipulate me completely and get everything they wanted. So ha ha ha. You should have done a better job and got everything and then turned on me, then put your focus on other people, then lie to me, then admit that you lied to me. Get the information first. Okay, Chris, the next time you send somebody to get someone's information and befriend them to do so, make sure that that person actually gets all the information first. All right? Then you'll create good spies, Chris Todd. High five. If not, you just look like an idiot asshole. And there is more information. And there's more information about you and how you were bullying somebody and they wanted to die. And you were getting hundreds of thousands of people to message him saying he's the killer of Kurt Cobain's and that he should die. Asshole move, Chris Todd! Because then he stopped taking his medication and he fucking killed himself. And you just want to make a fucking story out of it. Fuck you. Good night, everyone. I'm done. Fuck you, Hollywood. Fuck you, Disney. Fuck you, people just wanting a fucking story and destroying people's lives. Fuck you!